Question of the day. What if there's one type of isle you could go and visit? What would it be? I guarantee you not be a summoner's isle. What we're talking about today. Yes, I was a bit swerve.
Question of the day, but we were talking about a game today, Summoner's Isle, all about bringing sprites and trolls and worms onto a board so that you can get enough magical energy power to stave off the old ones. Doesn't say what the old ones are, but looking at you, Cthulhu, probably. Away, although it does say Midgard, so maybe it's talking about like Fenrir, who knows. But point is, this is an area control game that is a race. Let's take a look how it plays right now. We'll come back and talk about mechanics, presentation, all that. So this is Summoner's Isle set up for 2 players. Use the back side of the map, which features the 2-player side. Everyone gets their components of worms, trolls, and sprites. Everyone also gets a die in their color. The die are used for fights, and we'll do that in just a little bit. Now, the game's played over 3 phases. Your goal is to try to get so much summoning energy that you either hit 36 and the game ends and you win, or by the end of round 6 in a 2-player, round 7 in a higher count game, you have the most power. Now you'll notice on the board here there are certain numbers associated with these bracketed areas. If you're in those areas, you will get more or less power when that phase comes around. But first is the summoning phase. You can spend energy to summon your creatures to the island. Now you do this in order. You do it first your worms, which would be your big dragon. Then you would do your trolls, which in this case, no joke, that's straight up Groot, right? I mean, come on. Then you'll do your trolls, and then you'll do your sprites. The point is, all of these different spots are places they could be summoned to. Here, all those spots. But these spots they can be summoned to also are part of regions. And once you control an entire region, similar symbols, you then would score extra points for that as well. So once you've summoned everybody out there, let's just say that I'm going to spend 5 energy to just summon my worm out and nothing else. I'm going to summon it out here. I would go down to 0, but I now have a worm on the board. This worm will then act, and it acts in the same orders. You act with your worms, then your trolls, then your sprites. Each one of these types of tokens has a certain type of action allowance and things. This has a +2 to its defense. This has a 7 hit points. This tells you how many energy it is to summon it, and that number up there is how many actions it gets. So the trolls actually get the most actions. Actions can be moving or attacking. So as the board starts to fill up with these different creatures, you're going to start running into each other. You're going to want to take possession of these areas because, again, the more you have in an area, if you dominate an entire area, the more bonus points of energy you're going to get during that phase, hopefully making you the winner of the game. So the worms act first. Now, you can normally spend your actions to move or attack, but the worm also has another ability. Let's just say I had this creature sitting here. For 1 point of energy, I could switch that worm with that character. It doesn't count as an action, it just happens. So it's a way to slingshot your worm up there. And the reason you want to do that is because the worm are obviously very strong. They're hard to kill, so you're going to want to use them in fights. The way fights work is when you're adjacent to someone, you'll roll your attack die and add your modifier. So you get a +4 to this. So this is a 7. You have to have 7 to beat this. This would come off the board. You then would gain the amount of points of energy. Yeah, it's 1 energy for sprites, 2 for trolls, 3 for worms. You'd pull that off the board, and then once everybody has acted, all of your sprites, all of your trolls, all of your worms in reverse order, go worms, trolls, sprites, you then will acquire the energy. That's the last phase. You're going to give energy and reset. So you accumulate your energy based on, first of all, where you are. So if you're in this section, you're going to gain an extra 5 power. So if I'm here, I'm going to gain 5 and go to 10. You gain 1 for each sprite you have on the board in an uncontested territory. So these sprites would be gaining points here. That one would gain 1. You also gain, if you dominate an area, the bonus point listed there. And you'll move your energy up that much. So you keep going back and forth until you either gain 36 points of energy, or by round 6, whoever's highest wins the game. Player count or player order is determined by who has the least energy, and that will switch each round, obviously. So that's it. Summoner's Isle is a really pretty looking game. It's in a small box, which I love. The board is not a huge board when you get it to the table either, which is also a nice benefit. I'm talking just presentation right now. All of the tiles and tokens look good. I like the fact that they went with unique imagery for each one. I also like the reverse silhouette look to where it's a white cutout. It's not detailed, super detailed, right? So you kind of get the idea of what each one looks like. especially that one that looks like Groot. But you also aren't caught up in the fact of, wow, that looks like a frost troll. No, that's definitely a cave troll. The point is that it's muted on those tokens, but that's cool. It looks nice. But whoever did their presentation as far as the tokens themselves did a fantastic job of knowing, here's the cost, here's how much damage it does, here's its defense power, and here's how many actions it gets. Boom, right there on the token. Very well done. The board itself, it's a little hard to follow those lines sometimes and think, oh cool, I can move here if I put my worm, and then you're like, wait a minute, I'd have to go way around. So a lot of different ways and paths to move, so you do have to kind of pay attention to those white lines when you're doing it. But all in all, the game it looks really, really pretty on the board. It's just nice, those nice dice. I like the combat, that it's quick. It's not like a long drawn out thing. It's not Game of Thrones, which is a great game. It's more like Small World, but with some more mechanics in there and less of the whole like, well, I'm putting 16 people in this one spot. You're just trying to take control of those different areas to get the bonus points, plus the sprites give you points, plus each enemy you kill gives you points. And it is a race. Let's talk about that for a minute. It is a race to the end. I mean, yes, after the end of 6 rounds or 7, depending on how the player count is, you're going to get to see who's the winner based on who has the highest on the energy track. But you could just win if you get straight to, I think it's 37, which is pretty neat. It is actually a race when it comes to area control, as opposed to having to sit out there and hope that you're the winner. So I like the fact that it is pretty cutthroat and you can go for it. I like how the actions work. Very smooth. You can move or attack. And the worm gets that special ability to trade places with the person next to it. So all in all, this is a really cool game. I like the way it looks. I like the way it plays. Summoner's Isle is a good, fast area control game that's got some unique elements to it too. There's some dice rolling, but also some deterministic values as well. So really, really pretty game, really fun. Summoner's Isle, go check this out. A neat little game. You'll enjoy this. It's cool. So anyway, I'm Brian Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that sort of stuff at Dice Tower Bryan. And if you're on the cruise, well, actually this is going up after the cruise. So if you went to the cruise and had a good time, or if you're going to an event this year, let's get a game in. Till next time, I'll see you.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.